Hey guys, what's up? CitrusTechnology here, and today we're going to be doing a AC outlet repair, well, the plug part on this computer for an HP laptop. And so here we're just starting by taking off the cover for the screws, because we gotta get to the screws to take it off. And then we are going to take off the screws, but make sure to get that where you know where it goes, if it's the top or the bottom one. This one only has a top one, so then we just gotta take out all these screws. And sorry, this is a voiceover because, well, the mic broke, so I had to get a new mic. But don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and let me know what you would like to see more videos of down in the comment section below. This is the tedious part, so sorry. And make sure you put the screws kind of like in a container or something so you know what screws go to what. Because if you don't, some screws are longer and some screws are shorter, which that does make a difference when you put it back together. I've had it where I've gotten laptops that were taken apart before and they had all the big screws in the little holes, so it didn't screw back together right, but we got it fixed. So like right now, I'm just making sure I did get all the screws loosened all the way because they're held in there by a little piece of plastic, some of them. And in our next video, we are going to have a new camera and mic setup, so hopefully it'll be better and better lighting. So that'll be an awesome add-on. And let me know what you guys would like to see, whether changes or whatever. And so here we're getting ready. We got all the screws out, and here we're starting to separate the top and bottom part of the case so we can get to the inside of the laptop to change out the AC adapter part in the computer. Technically it's the DC adapter, but this is a new desk, so it is a different setup than we had before. That's kind of why the camera angle is not perfect, but you're going to want to play along this line. You're going to have to pop it out carefully, don't force it. I like to use the plastic like guitar picks because they're just easier to use and they don't tend to break the case. If you use, I mean, I do use metal tools sometimes, but if you just start with the metal tools, sometimes you do break the case. I've seen that a few times, and we don't want to do that because that's just another thing to replace. The goal is just to get what we need to get done and move on. And it isn't super quick, so you kind of got to start like a corner and then work your way around. I also got a new camera stand for the next whole video, so that should be very not so wobbly every time the laptop moves on the table. It's always the back corners that usually are the tricky ones. Every laptop is different though, so it can be a challenge sometimes to know how each one comes off. So you kind of just have to be careful and go slow and uh, kind of work with what the laptop wants to do. Some laptops have screws, some are all popped together with plastic pins and stuff. Those are a nightmare to work on, but most of the ones with screws also have that too, which makes it fun. So here we got the back part of the case off, and now we are looking at the new replacement part and where it's going to go because the old one is in there. This was kind of fun to put together and take apart because you have to take apart the screen, the thing that holds the screen in place, and those tend to be a little bit tricky to bend, and you got to be kind of careful because those parts can break, or you can pop the screw out, and then you got to get all new hardware and stuff, and that's not a fun experience. But thankfully, that didn't happen. So what you're gonna have to do is you take out the 3 screws that are holding that one in because it's under the screen holder. So if we don't take the screws out, then it's you can't really get the part out because it's under it. So I wouldn't normally use a flathead for this, but they're so strongly made so they don't bend easy. You kind of have to force it a little bit just to get it to bend. The plastic will just kind of bend. You need the leverage. And then I moved it up with my hand so that way it's more out of the way. And then we pop the old part out. Just like that. And this one was a little bent and the pin was kind of messed up inside, which I do show. Yeah, so the left one is the new one and the right one is the old one, which you can kind of tell. So then we're just going to pop it in and run the wiring just like the other one was ran, so that way it's nice and clean and the case shuts easier. It is a little bit tricky because you gotta flip it because each pin faces the other direction, so you kind of gotta go back and forth all the way down. But it does look nice once it's all done. And now this plug did give me a lot of issues, so I did clip out some of it because it was just fighting back. But it usually just slips right in there. Sometimes they are a little tricky. And then voila, just gotta finish up the wiring. And now it's all nice and neat, and then we gotta put back in the screws. And then oh, I put this screw in the wrong hole, but I did fix that off camera. So that one was supposed to go in the right, the hole next to it, not the hole I put it in, because the case goes in that hole. And then there's the battery, the SSD, and the RAM. And then I did fix it, see right there. That's the hole that's exposed in the case. So always make sure before you start forcing screws in too, the case is the right way. I always have to double check, but never force screws and stuff. Because once you start forcing, you're going to have more issues. And now we just have to put back in the screws, which does take a couple minutes, but yeah, and then this client is pretty much good to go. The laptop, when it was all done, charged right up, and it was great. I don't want to be one of those computer repair channels that edits all the parts that you kind of need to see, because I know when I watch them, sometimes you'll be like, oh, how did they get this off? And they immediately clip out that part and they just go to when it's detached, and you're like, that doesn't help because you need that part to see what you're doing wrong. So I'd only edit out stuff where it's taking forever or I'm trying to figure out what to do for that, so you guys don't have to watch me forever until I get it. I'll show the parts where I get it and stuff though. But yeah. I usually try to avoid voiceover, so sorry if this is not like a normal, like I'm just guiding you as I go. Because this is a little bit different for me, but we're getting there one step at a time. In the next video, well, not the next, but the video after that, the camera is also going to be up higher, so you'll be able to see more of what's going on. And then again, don't forget to like and subscribe to let me know what you guys would like to see more of, and that you like this content. Leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see more of, and also check out my other two channels. I got one with unique stuff, and then I do have a gaming channel which I'm hoping to start up soon, but we will see. So here I'm still finishing up the screws and putting in, there's a few screws, but you got to make sure they all go in right. And then sometimes, like here, the case wasn't fully snapped in, which is kind of common, but once you push them in, since the screws are screwed in, it'll go right in pretty easy. But if it's not in at all, then it's going to be a nightmare. So popped it all in, and that was good. And then we put back on that little rubber piece. This laptop only had one, so we're only going to put in one. There's not another one. So unless they wanted that as part of the repair, which most people don't. So, and I don't have spares on hand. And I hope you like this video. We will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. And this is again the old part that we swapped out for the new part.